Godzilla 1962 here, and we finally got the second trailer for Godzilla Kong the New Empire. With this trailer, we get so much more content shown off to us, and I love it. But I'm sure some people are still curious as to what's happening, so let me help you understand. With the second trailer out, we now have two primary trailers showing off Godzilla Kong the New Empire. I'm going to go over all the kaiju in the film and what the humans will be doing. So let's start with the biggest character in the monsterverse, Godzilla. Godzilla is going to have many different forms in this film, and we see quite a few in this trailer. Firstly, the main form of Godzilla. Of course we can't have Godzilla without his normal form. This is looking to go back to basics, and is my favorite American Godzilla design, so it's nice to see it possibly for the last time. I say this because the next two forms get crazy. The second one is the same thing, but he's all blue, like his energy is flowing through him. Then we have the main form of Godzilla that is being shown off in the marketing, Evolved Godzilla. So let's get into his story. Godzilla is most likely going to be relaxing for the first quarter of the film. He'll probably be resting in the ocean, but a threat comes out, bringing Godzilla out of his slumber. This threat is most likely Shimo, and after his first fight with the kaiju, Godzilla will either be defeated or weakened. Because I don't have much explanation as to why Godzilla looks like this. The battle could lead to Godzilla being overflowing with energy, and as a way to release it all, he goes to evolve. As for Godzilla's friendship with Kong, this is where it gets interesting. It's said how they don't need to be friends, they just need to team up. And I believe when Godzilla and Kong are fighting in Egypt, this is the first time seeing each other in the film. Despite living on good terms in the last film, Godzilla most likely believes he's the only one going to find this big threat. But when Kong is brought into the picture, he'll likely get extremely angry and try to fight him. Considering Godzilla is the kind of kaiju to protect the world and not humanity, Godzilla wants to protect the world from this kaiju, and seeing as Kong is now into this, his last big rival, he's not going to be very happy when it's supposed to be Godzilla's job and not his. Now that we got the king of the monsters out of the way, let's get into the movie's true star, Kong. Kong is going to go on a full arc in this film, and I can't wait. Kong will be living in the Hollow Earth with some humans and Gia. But eventually he has to do combat, so bringing his combat axe from the last film, Kong will have to face off against Scar King. It looks like Scar King has a son, Zuko. Zuko looks to be different from his father, where Scar King wants to conquer, Zuko doesn't want to. So looking for aid, he goes to Kong, and brings him to Scar King's home, and thus they do battle. Kong will most likely lose the battle, or come close to winning, but whatever the outcome, Scar King will unveil his biggest weapon, Shimo. Kong is going to take some serious damage, or at least a way to fight off Scar King and Shimo, so Marek will give him the Beast Glove as some help. And of course we will have him face off with Godzilla. But doing this all, Zuko and Kong's relationship will grow as Kong slowly adopts this new kaiju. We can even see in the trailer Scar King is holding Zuko in what looks to be the final battle, and Kong doesn't hold back, throwing a punch so hard it knocks out Scar King's tooth. Now with all this talk about him, let's talk about Scar King. Scar King seems to be a tyrant, and all of the members of the Kong species have been marked by him, and fear him, or some possibly follow under him. But this is probably all due to his strength and intelligence, especially seeing as he is using another kaiju, Shimo, to do his dirty work of destroying the Earth. Scar King seems to be the father, or at least adoptive father, of Zuko. With Scar King's design, he is all red, and that's most likely either blood or war paint. Scar King will be using Shimo to destroy Earth, and seems to allow Shimo to cause chaos in the surface world. We also see that Scar King's rib slash has a blade at the end of it which stabs Kong during the first fight, and also is strong enough to lift up a building and throw it at other kaiju. Now onto Scar King's son, Zuko. Zuko seems to be the one to show Kong Scar King's world, and try to help Kong overcome Scar King and defeat him. Zuko is a small and frightened kaiju that needs Kong's help, but despite this, he shows off his strength. At the end of the trailer, we see him throw a rock at one of Scar King's minions that is chasing him, most likely trying to get him back. But using the Hollow Earth's anti-gravity section to his advantage, Zuko throws a rock at the minion right at his face, knocking him back. And like I brought up earlier, during possibly the final battle of the film, Scar King is holding Zuko in one of his hands while trying to fend off Kong. Scar King is most likely trying to get Zuko back or hold him hostage, hell, maybe even fight him, but Kong doesn't show mercy. So it's safe to say that Kong and Zuko will have a father and son dynamic, similar to his dynamic with Gia in Godzilla vs. Kong. Now let's see the final main kaiju of the film, Shimo. Shimo is a powerful kaiju that can fire ice similar to how Godzilla fires his atomic breath. Shimo is a pawn to Scar King and does his bidding. Shimo has little known about them, but what we do know is that they can fire ice, take on Godzilla, most likely beat Kong, is Scar King's pawn, and can cause another ice age, all by itself. So though we don't know much, Shimo seems to be the big threat that the trailer is teasing. And what we do know is that this threat is suited for Godzilla, seeing as when Kong first sees them, he doesn't stand a chance. Now the humans. There'll be a little talk because we don't know much, but here's what I can tell you. It looks like the humans will be using Kong to help them explore the Hollow Earth and figure out its mysteries. They'll also learn about the threat that is Shimo and how if Godzilla and Kong don't team up, the Earth is at stake. The humans seem to be taking a back seat and letting the kaiju do all the work, but they do give Kong his Beast Glove which demolishes a building thrown at him by Scar King. And of course you can't forget Gia, who is thankfully returning. She seems to be the only one who senses the big threat that is Shimo, and she tells the rest of the characters about it. And we even see a reflection in Gia's eye what may possibly be Mothra, only time will tell. So in the end, what do we have? Well, let's see. Thanks to Gia's help, the humans will figure out about a world-ending threat, Shimo. They decide to go and have Kong find the threat, but instead of finding the threat, Kong finds Zuko, who leads him to Scar King's lair. Scar King will demolish Kong in battle, or if he doesn't, at least give him a hard battle. But whatever happens, he shows off Shimo, who immediately will get to beating Kong. Now with Kong nearly out of the fight, Godzilla will have to step in and face off the threat. Eventually, both kaiju will have to come together and destroy the threats that are Scar King and Shimo. With all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I didn't really get too far in explaining the film's plot, because knowing me, the second I get into details, I'll probably get everything wrong. But hey, I'm working with what I have, and what is publicly known. Godzilla 1962, signing off.